Hey, what's up? All right, guys, so it is every self-employed person's favorite time of year, tax time, right? This is a great time for us to reflect on how well we've prepared from the year before, going into the... Sounds like Kellyanne's doing a little epic coaching of her own. Check her out, Self Leadership Global, my friend. One of the best ways to get prepared to be successful is to understand self-leadership. So, wanted to share this email with you guys. This is an email from my CPA. Just received it over the weekend, and I kind of want to get your reactions about it because my CPA goes on to say, Matthew, I've prepared your estimate of 2018 tax liabilities based on the financial statements provided. In sum, I've estimated that your federal tax liability will be approximately $295,000, while your Colorado income tax liability will be approximately $42,000. So we're getting very close to $350,000 in total tax liabilities that we'll owe for 2018. It's a lot of money, okay? Now, I've heard of different philosophies on this, and I've spoke with people for a long, long time, over a decade and a half of people arguing from time to time that they would rather earn less so that they don't have to pay as much in taxes. Or another example of this would be, say, spending more for mortgage debt because they could write off the interest costs of that debt and get a tax perk, okay? I want to correct both of these ideas. These concepts are just flat out wrong. And it was easy to sort of feel a little bit of anguish or even a little disappointment based on where our tax liabilities were going to be this year. I would have loved for it to be $300,000 or $250,000. But the only reason you spend a lot of money in taxes is because you make a lot of money in income. The correct way of thinking, guys, is the abundance mindset, right? Abundance, not scarcity. We're not cutting back. We're growing. We're thriving, which means that technically I should want to earn 2 times or 10 times or 100 times as much income and pay 2 times or 5 times or 10 times or 100 times more taxes, because it just means that I'm left with so much more money. So we have to get out of the wrong mentality and get into the right mentalities if we want to have success. Now, along those same lines, I encountered something in the last couple of days that really hit me as profound. I had not seen this before. It looks like it was originally published in the Orlando Sentinel back in 1984, February 3rd to be exact, which I believe is exactly 35 years ago, this coming February 3rd. And I wanted to read it to you. So I'm gonna read it word for word. And it's been rewritten a couple of times and there's been some fact checks against it based on updates that have been made to it by other people. But I think the core of this message will be clear. And I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. So bear with me, guys, okay? This is a long article, but it's extremely profound. This is bipartisan, okay? This is fairly impartial when it comes to politics, and yet it's a very political discussion. Politicians are the only people in the world who create problems, then campaign against them. And the name of this article is 545 people are responsible for the mess, but they unite in a common con. Have you ever wondered why, if both parties, Democrats and Republicans, are against deficits, that we have a deficit? Have you ever wondered why, if all politicians are against inflation and high taxes, why we have inflation and high taxes? You and I don't propose a federal budget. The president does. You and I don't have constitutional authority to vote in appropriations. The House of Representatives does. You and I don't write tax code. The Congress does. You and I don't set fiscal responsibility. The Congress does. You and I don't control monetary policy. The Federal Reserve Bank does. 100 senators, 435 congressmen and women, 1 president, 9 Supreme Court justices, 545 human beings out of 238 million in 1984 are directly, legally, morally, and individually responsible for the domestic problems that plague this country. 545. Now, I excluded the members of the Federal Reserve Bank because that problem was created by Congress in 1913. Congress delegated its constitutional duty to provide a sound currency to a federally chartered but private central bank. I exclude all of the special interests and lobbyists for a sound reason. They have no legal authority. They have no ability to coerce a senator, a congressman, or a president to do one cotton-picking thing. I don't care if they offer a politician $1 million in cash. The politician has the power to accept or reject. No matter what the lobbyist promises, it is the legislator's responsibility to determine how he votes. Don't you see how the con game that is played on the people by the politicians? Those 545 human beings spend much of their energy convincing you that what they did is not their fault. They cooperate in this common con regardless of party. What separates a politician from a normal human being is an excessive amount of gall. No normal human being would have the gall to tip O'Neill, who stood up and criticized Ronald Reagan for creating deficits. The president can only propose a budget. He cannot force the Congress to accept it. The Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, gives sole responsibility to the House of Representatives for originating appropriations and taxes. O'Neill is Speaker of the House. He is the leader of the majority party. He and his fellow Democrats, not the president, can approve any budget they want. If the president vetoes it, they can pass it over his veto. Now, just go ahead and replace these names with current politicians and this article is still exactly the same. Just 545 Americans have fouled up this great nation. It seems inconceivable to me that a nation of 235 million, now 325, cannot replace 545 people who stand convicted by present facts of incompetence and irresponsibility. I can't think of a single domestic problem, from an unfair tax code to defense overruns, that is not traceable directly to those people. When you fully grasp the plain truth that 545 people exercise complete power over the federal government, then it must follow that what exists is what they want to exist. If the tax code is unfair, it's because they want it unfair. If the budget is in the red, it's because they want it in the red. If the Marines are in Lebanon, it's because they want them in Lebanon. There are no insoluble governmental problems. Do not let these 545 people shift the blame to bureaucrats whom they hire and whose jobs they can abolish, to lobbyists whose gifts and advice they can reject, to regulators to whom they can give the power to regulate and from whom they can take it. Above all, do not let them con you into the belief that there exists disembodied mystical forces like the economy, like inflation, like politics, that prevent them from doing what they take an oath to do. Those 545 people, and they alone, are responsible. And they alone have the power. They and they alone should be held accountable by the people who are their bosses, you and me, provided that they have the gumption to manage their own employees. So that was written by Charlie Reese. He was a former columnist for the Orlando Sentinel newspaper, retired back in the late 2000s, has later passed away. 2013, I believe, is when he passed. But think about this. This might be funny if it wasn't so true. This is a poem that was actually part of the original article that I found on Facebook. Tax his land, tax his bed, tax the table at which he's fed. Tax his tractor, tax his mule, teach him taxes are the rule. Tax his work, tax his pay. He works for peanuts anyway. Tax his cow, tax his goat, tax his pants, tax his coat, tax his ties, tax his shirt, tax his work, tax his dirt. Tax his tobacco, tax his drink. Tax him if he tries to think. Tax his cigars, tax his beers. If he cries, tax his tears. Tax his car, tax his gas. Find other ways to tax his ass. Tax all he has, then let him know that you won't be done till he has no dough. When he screams and hollers, then tax him some more. Tax him till he's good and sore. Then tax his coffin, tax his grave, tax the sod in which he's laid. Put these words upon his tomb. Taxes drove me to my doom. And when he's gone, do not relax. It's time to apply the inheritance tax, accounts receivable tax, building permit tax, CDL tax, license taxes, cigarette tax, corporate income tax, dog license tax, exercise taxes, federal income tax, federal unemployment tax, fishing license tax, food license tax, fuel permit tax, gasoline tax, gross receipts tax, hunting tax, inheritance tax, inventory tax, IRS, interest charges, IRS penalties, tax, liquor tax, luxury tax, marriage license taxes, Medicare tax, personal property tax, real estate tax, service charge tax, Social Security tax, road usage tax, recreational vehicle tax, sales tax, school tax, state income tax, state unemployment tax, telephone federal excess tax, telephone federal universal service fee tax, telephone federal, state and local surcharge tax, telephone minimum usage surcharge tax, telephone recurring and non-recurring charges tax, telephone state and local tax, telephone usage charge tax, utility taxes, vehicle license registration tax, vehicle sales tax, watercraft tax, well permit tax, workers' compensation tax. Still think it's funny? Not one of these taxes existed 100 years ago. And our nation, at that time, was the most prosperous in the world. We had absolutely no national debt, had the largest middle class in the world. What in the heck happened? Can you spell politicians? Gives you a lot to think about. And obviously that was something that really stood out to me in the face of $350,000 worth of taxes. And this is why it's so important to get through the videos on this channel, watch the latest video that we're dropping with respect to the 2018 checklist. Make sure as you move forward that you're properly preparing. If you want to be a business owner, if you want to be an investor, there are incredible tax incentives and benefits by doing that if you play your cards right. But as you can see, even as a business, you can still pay exorbitant amounts of taxes like we are. And had we not planned correctly, that type of tax liability is enough to sink a ship. So thankfully, we practice what we teach here on this channel. And we teach you how to be better with your money, how to be as good as possible at any given time with your cash flow. We teach you how to bank and borrow the right way. We teach you how to manage your credit so that you're not swimming in debt and you don't find yourself unable to make minimum payments or to pay off big liabilities when the time comes, like this tax liability. So with that being said, please plan. Don't be complacent. Don't be passive. Be proactive. Be intentional. And you'll see your money and your financial goals coming together. We look forward to seeing you on the next video. Until then, make it a great day.